And showtime. Welcome to the ChannelPro 5-Minute Roundup, a look at news, trends, and tips for the SMB channel. I am your co-host for this program, Rich Freeman, executive editor of the ChannelPro Network. With me, as always, my co-host, Eric Simpson, who is CIO and Senior Vice President at SPC International, a training and business improvement organization for MSPs and other IT service providers. Eric, how goes it today?
Everything is going fantastic, but a very productive week here at the home office. So got a lot of stuff done, got a few more things to knock out before the long weekend. How about for you, Rich?
Pretty similar story. So I'm actually on vacation next week. We will still be on the air. We'll explain that a little bit later. But yeah, I'm on vacation next week. So I had a lot of stuff to kind of wrap up to clear off the desk basically for a week. But I am looking forward to a little rest and relaxation.
Well, let's get right to it then.
All right. Yes. Get this out of the way. Top story of the week here. We recorded an episode of the ChannelPro Weekly podcast yesterday. I referred to it sort of as the sleeper story of the week. It was announced by Tech Data Monday or Tuesday. They have introduced a new ordering system for Cisco partners. And on the face of it, you might not think that's such a big deal, but viewers out there who do business with Cisco might appreciate what is kind of a big deal about this. Cisco has an online ordering tool called the Cisco Commerce Workspace, or CCW. And if you're a partner big enough to do business directly with Cisco, you can use that tool to manage and orchestrate an entire order workflow from start to finish. Deal registration, configuration, order placement, tracking, you name it. Most of those capabilities have not been available, though, to Cisco partners who buy through distribution. And Tech Data has filled that gap, essentially. They've introduced a new tool called OneSource. And it, in essence, allows any Tech Data reseller who buys from Cisco to do all of the things that a larger partner can do through CCW via Tech Data and this new solution. So it sort of levels the playing field for smaller Cisco partners. And it's going to be interesting to me to see if this attracts more Tech Data resellers to Cisco, because it's easier to do business with them. You don't have to call or email an account rep to manage large portions of the ordering process anymore. And it'll also be interesting to see if this attracts resellers to Tech Data, because people who want to do business with Cisco recognize that maybe Tech Data is an easier way to do that going forward.
Right. And I see that those two opportunities as more of the middle and longer tail. What I see immediately about this opportunity, Rich, is the uptick in transactions for existing Tech Data partners that may not be transacting so much business with Cisco because, you know, it is a little bit complex and it needs a little bit of guidance if that's not your cup of tea. So hopefully they'll be promoting this in a big way for their existing partner channel, doing a lot of training and putting up, videos and things like that to help encourage existing Tech Data partners to increase their transaction level with Cisco through Tech Data.
And in fact, not only is Tech Data publicizing this to their Cisco partners and other partners, but they have an entire team of people, a whole set of dedicated resources who are standing by to consult with Cisco resellers. So from Tech Data's point of view, this tool really can orchestrate an entire business process, and they want to help partners set that up and really take full advantage of what the tool can do. And so there are consulting resources inside Tech Data who can work with partners to do that. So they are going to be pushing this out, I think, pretty aggressively to their Cisco channel.
Yeah, and something tells me they're going to be incented to really put a lot of focus on that in the near term.
Well, we will keep an eye on that. In the meantime, it's time for your tech tip, Eric, which is all about keeping an eye on your customers.
Right. And so when we engage with customers in a consulting engagement, I always ask very specific questions about the customer relationship, about how we manage the customers, who owns those customer relationships, and how we really understand not only how we're doing as IT providers in the customer's perception, what a great job we're doing, but how are we identifying other ways that we can help them achieve their business goals and overcome other business challenges that we may not be I'll say, intentional about just picking up the phone and calling, or, in between our QBRs, that's 90 days on a good day before, we're really executing on those things. So one tip that I always give our partners is to develop specific customer surveys, and to deliver a customer survey at least once a quarter. And I don't mean a customer survey, Rich, where we're asking them, hey, rate us 1 to 4 on how quickly we closed your ticket and this and that and the other thing. I want to survey the user environment to uncover other pains and challenges that the users are experiencing that in many cases may not bubble up to leadership, or at least be taking seriously as they might be, because users typically, when they feel like, what, I've asked for help here once or twice, I'm not getting a lot of response, I'm just going to figure out a workaround so it works for me. So sometimes the impact of the I'll say the negative impact on utilization for the user base is not fully apparent or transparent to the leadership. So I'd like everyone to start sending out a survey once a quarter geared toward the users, and asking specific questions, and you may even do it by department. So if you know that there's a department that uses a specific line of business application that you've had enough experience with now to know that the user is having challenges with it, let's send out a very objective survey to gauge the user's impression of how challenging or simple or problematic or whatever it is to deal with that and any other workflow issues that they've got. So pick a few topics, send out a quarterly survey, and then have the results of those surveys at hand when you sit down with your clients and do your QBRs. And then reflect back. This is the most important piece. How do you get folks to respond to the surveys? I hear that a lot. Well, the first survey we sent out, we got a lot of response, but after that, we pretty much hear crickets. The key to it is to reflect back in aggregate what the response was for each of the questions. So if you ask 5 questions, don't make it a 20-question survey, 5, 6, 7 questions max, right? Doesn't take a lot of time for someone to do it. But then reflect back the answers. Hey, for question 1, 85% of you responded this way. 15% of you responded this way. And that way they get the feedback and they go, oh, wow, now I know, what my colleagues think, and maybe I'm not in the minority, maybe I am in the minority, but now maybe my vote counts. And then explain to them, hey, we'll be taking your feedback to leadership and talking to them about ways that we can, address some of your concerns or issues and try to make your job easier. So you'll build up this goodwill with the user community, and you're sitting down with clients now and have an opportunity to uncover additional revenue opportunities by solving real user issues that impact their productivity and your client's bottom line.
So 2 quick questions on that. One, in terms of just how you actually execute this, is the idea that you're sending an email out to the user base with maybe a Survey Monkey link in it to a survey of some kind. Well, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. And it can be as simple as that. And of course, don't blindly send it out. Let the client, let your client know, hey, we're going to be sending out a survey. We just want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to help you and your organization achieve your business goals, overcome challenges that affect productivity. And by the way, here are the questions that we're going to ask. Are you okay with that? Right? And the client says, yep. And then you can then, with SurveyMonkey, we use that extensively at SPC. You can even create a link with a password that you can send to the client should they want to review the answers. And I would make those questions and answers anonymous, just so everyone feels that they have the ability to be candid about their response. So it's really the aggregate data and the overall response that we want to impress upon the client, not, we don't want them to go back and start asking questions of, a specific person that they may find, that they may not agree with or may not understand. We want to control that in a more strategic discussion with the client, and not make it this, a situation where they've got to take on the heavy load. Now they feel like, oh, now I've got to go figure out what they're talking about, this and that. We're going to help them figure that out.
In terms of driving a response rate to something like that, it would probably work if you told people that one person who responds to the survey will get a $25 Starbucks card. How do you feel about that kind of thing?
Yeah, I know an outfit that does a lot of surveys offering rewards like that, and I think they're pretty successful at getting feedback.
You would be amazed how effective that can be.
Very well.
Well, let's move on. We've got time for just one more story on this episode here, and it is from Lake Worth, Florida, which, depending on what you believe, either experienced a power outage or a combination power outage zombie apocalypse. Because automated messages went out on the 20th of May to residents of Lake Worth from the local utility, informing them that power outage and zombie alert for residents of Lake Worth and Terminus, which is apparently the city in The Walking Dead. I'm not a big Walking Dead watcher. Yep. 3,780 customers involved due to extreme zombie activity. So if you can imagine getting this on your cell phone in the middle of the night, which is apparently when this went out. This is very relevant to our viewers. Somebody hacked into this utility's database, as far as they can tell, and altered a whole bunch of the automated messages that go out when various utility-related incidents occur.
Yeah, I just had to mute myself. I think there's a helicopter outside the office here. But yes, the doomsday preppers were triumphantly rejoicing when they got those text messages. You know, they were like, yes, we knew it, you know, preparing to take over the local Walmart and barricade themselves in there for the long haul.
I told you so. Well, thank you very much for watching, folks. That is all the time we've got on this week's episode of the 5-Minute Roundup. We will be back again next week with a pre-recorded episode as I am out gallivanting about the world on vacation. If you want to keep up with the latest episodes of 5-Minute Roundup, I encourage you to go to the ChannelPro Network channel on YouTube and subscribe to that. You'll get all the information on upcoming events and activities and episodes of this show. I also encourage you to visit ChannelProNetwork.com on a regular basis for more information about stories like the tech data solution we were talking about before and other good stuff. For more information about Eric Simpson and SPC International, you're going to want to go to consulting.spc-intl.com. That's consulting.spc-intl.com. Once again, thank you very much for watching. We will see you again on the next episode. Until then, enjoy the rest of your week. We are enjoying the rest of your week already.